just about finding someone that's a good tax person. It's about finding a good tax person with that knows your industry specifically, and then ideally communicates with you well. Well, I mean, it's kind of that's pretty important.
You would think. You would think. It's just that's you got to find somebody who wants to help. Like that's really it. The same with a roofing contractor. We may be excellent installers, salespeople, marketers, production, all that's great. But if you don't have anybody on your team that wants to help, it makes it really difficult. So yeah, it's any kind of business. Find people that want to help and want to be on your team and you want to win together.
Yep. Absolutely. So sorry, I cut you off before you were talking about Roof Quote Pro and Roofle.
Yeah.
What's the changes there for you? And this
So
another item on your list.
yeah, so we're just making sure we optimize. I've actually done it already, hopefully. And we're making sure that all the customer facing financing options make the most sense. So we changed those. Make sure you're updating your financing offerings to homeowners so that they're the most attractive. That's a huge part of our business next year, and it was last year. And then we're just making sure that all the pricing's updated on Roof Quote Pro, the material is correct, all the details, just like going is kind of like just housekeeping stuff. Just make sure that you're really not making any barriers for homeowners. You're not creating those, but you're actually making it easier. So there's just been some slight changes that I made that I think are going to make it easier for homeowners to buy from us. And we're trying to reach the entire state of Georgia. Definitely that northeast Georgia, all the way down to the coast. And Georgia's a big state, so we have crews that can travel all over the state. And we look forward to serving Georgia next year.
Love that. Love that. Is so part of like making it easier for homeowners. You mentioned the other day switching your website back to having a form that then
Mhm.
goes to a speed to lead that then schedules them as opposed to just having them scheduled straight on your homepage. Um, can you talk about that? Because I feel like you had put out some video content a while back about that flow where they're able to book a appointment directly from your homepage. We've had some guys that have also wanted to do that since that's what you were doing. Um, and so now I think you had that like that for about a year. So you did a really thorough test.
Sure.
What what was the takeaways, and why now are you planning on going back to having a more traditional contact form on the website?
I still really like that process a lot better. What I do think, and that you kind of mentioned it after I made the decision, like there's a possibility, and it's hard to really tell without using something like Hotjar or some sort of testing tool to see where people are stopping on our website. I feel like it's possible that we actually maybe lost some leads this year. Um, and doesn't mean that they were good leads, but it's possible that we want to test it again. I want to do a whole another year of testing and see
With
if
the
anything
form?
change. Yeah, with the form and see, because I actually prefer just scheduling straight on the website. I like that better, but I also want to meet my customers where they are. So if I'm in such a minority of how I like to buy, if I'm selling how I want to be sold to, but I'm in a minority, I don't want that. I have to take myself out of my own business and say, look, I'm trying to serve the most people in the best way. And if the form is what they want, then I'll do the form. Until the market changes or customer behavior changes, I'm gonna focus my entire attention on the customer and their experience and their behaviors more than my own personal preferences. So
Yeah.
I love what I have as far as like the scheduling online. Right there. Don't have to talk to anybody, it's just scheduled. But I want to test it for at least 6 months, if not a year, to do the form again to see what that does. And I don't want to create more work for Kathleen or anyone on our team, but I want it to be the best for our homeowners.
Have you talked to so Hook is still helping you with the site, right? So have you talked to them at all about potentially doing an A/B test? They have the capability of
They
doing that.
do. I'm almost positive they do. I don't know if We have not talked about that, but that we could try that.
Because I mean, it's still valuable to do sort of the period of time, but if it's possible to do an A/B test, I would give you probably more clear data because you'd be able to see, oh, we collected this many leads from the scheduling from the Calendly booking versus this many leads through the form, and then you can also compare. You can also compare all the way down, like, well, we had this many from the form, but this many booked, and so you can compare those actual booked values.
Yep.